The debate stage fell silent. Cameras froze. For a split second, it was as if time itself had stopped, until Donald Trump, with that signature smirk, unleashed a bombshell no one in the nation had seen coming. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Journalists scrambled to their keyboards. Viewers at home leaned closer to their screens, knowing instantly they were witnessing something that would dominate headlines for weeks. This wasn't politics as usual. This wasn't policy or principle. This was theater, pure spectacle, designed to humiliate, to dominate, to overwhelm. And for a moment, it looked like Trump had succeeded. His supporters roared with approval. The cameras drank it in. The moderators looked powerless to regain control. But here's the thing about moments like this. They don't just reveal character, they test it. And on this night, America saw two very different portraits of leadership. Because the way Trump's opponent responded, that changed everything. The night began with the kind of electricity only a high-stakes debate can summon. Spotlights carved sharp edges across the stage, illuminating two figures who could not have been more different. On one side, Donald Trump leaned back with a swagger, arms folded, lips curling into that familiar smirk, every gesture dripping with bravado, every pause calibrated to taunt. He wasn't just waiting for his turn, he was hunting for a moment to strike. Across from him stood his opponent, posture steady, gaze fixed, shoulders carrying the gravity of responsibility. No theatrics, no smirk, just a calm resolve, the kind that says, I came here to lead, not to perform. The audience knew they were in for a spectacle. You could almost feel the tension vibrating off the crowd, whispers darting like sparks before a fire. Online, hashtags were already trending, commentators firing off hot takes in real time. This wasn't just a debate, it was a national moment of reckoning. And then just as the moderator moved on, Trump decided to flip the entire night. Upside down, and then it happened. Trump leaned forward, his voice slicing through the hall like a blade. With a dramatic flourish, he pulled a folder from beneath his podium, slapped it onto the surface, and declared it held proof that his opponent was unfit to serve. The words thundered out, sharp and loaded, echoing in the stunned silence. That followed. Gasps tore through the audience. Cameras zoomed in, trying to catch every flicker of movement. The moderators fumbled, their voices quivering as they attempted to steer the conversation back on track. But Trump wouldn't let go. He waved the papers high above his head like a conquering general, showing off the spoils of war. Theatrics, spectacle, raw showmanship. It was the kind of moment he thrived on. Within seconds, phones across the nation lit up. Tweets exploded, Trump stunt rocketing to the top of the trends. Some users cheered, others mocked, but everyone was watching. Networks cut to split-screen coverage, pundits tripping over each other to deliver hot takes. Trump, basking in the chaos, flashed that familiar grin, the look of a man who believed he'd seized control of the night. But what stunned everyone wasn't Trump's theatrics. It was how his opponent turned the tables. For a brief moment, the spotlight burned hotter on Trump. He relished it, waiting for his opponent to stumble, to fumble, to fall into the trap. But instead of flustered silence or defensive panic, the opponent did something unexpected, something powerful. They straightened their posture, met Trump's glare with steady eyes, and let the tension hang in the air until the crowd itself leaned forward in anticipation. Then, with calm precision, they spoke. If leadership is reduced to waving papers and shouting accusations, then America deserves better. No shouting, no theatrics, just a scalpel where Trump had swung a sledgehammer. The words cut through the noise, reframing the entire spectacle in an instant. Not as strength, but as desperation. The audience erupted, not for Trump's bombast, but for the opponent's poise. Clips of the exchange spread like wildfire across social media. Captions appeared on millions of screens. This is how you lead. Memes painted the moment as David calmly staring down Goliath, the image of dignity against chaos. Trump tried to reassert control, but the balance had shifted, and everyone watching could feel it. The energy in the room was no longer his to command. Yet, the night wasn't over. Because what happened in the aftermath took the drama to a whole new level. By sunrise, the debate was already etched into the nation's bloodstream. Cable networks blared with urgency, plastering split screens across televisions in living rooms and airports alike. On one channel, Trump's loyalists praised his stunt as bold, daring, even genius. Proof, they claimed, that he was unafraid to break the rules. On another, anchors condemned the spectacle as reckless, desperate theater that embarrassed the stage of democracy itself. But outside the echo chambers of pundits, ordinary voters told a different story. Social media flooded with clips not of Trump's folder slam, but of his opponent's unshakable response. Hashtags like siege and leadership, is calm and dignity, when spread alongside reaction videos of young immigrants, veterans, and first-time voters, their voices resonating with pride. That's the steadiness we need. The debate had transcended the stage. It wasn't just two candidates sparring anymore. It was America itself wrestling with the definition of leadership. Was it noise and spectacle, or composure and clarity? The answers divided households, lit up comment sections, and fueled conversations in every corner of the country. And as the dust settled, one truth became undeniable. Within days, the momentum shifted. Overnight polls showed a stunning reversal. What Trump had intended as a devastating blow was being framed as overreach, a reckless gamble that exposed weakness rather than strength. Commentators who once marveled at his dominance now questioned whether the stunt revealed desperation. Meanwhile, clips of the opponent's measured response circulated like gospel, shared by influencers, teachers, parents, anyone hungry for proof that dignity could still command respect. The narrative was clear. Trump had aimed to humiliate, but his opponent had emerged as the steadier hand, the voice of reason in the storm. But the resolution of this clash wasn't just about politics. It was about something much bigger. The story of that night wasn't about a folder or a stunt. It was about the measure of a leader when the pressure is greatest. Trump had volume, shock, and theatrics. But the opponent showed something rarer. The ability to remain unshaken, to answer noise with clarity, and to remind Americans that true power isn't in spectacle, but in steadiness under fire. That moment became more than a debate. It became a reflection of democracy itself, a reminder that respect, resilience, and integrity outlast even the loudest shouts. The stunt will fade from memory, reduced to another flash of chaos in a long line of distractions. But the image of calm dignity standing tall against it, that will endure. And that's why this night wasn't just politics. It was a reminder of who we are as a nation.